Now welcome everybody back to the channel. Recently we talked about my least favorite Airbus plane, and it was definitely the A380, as you might remember. See, I don't know, I just really don't like it. It was quite a failure as well. You know, it's being retired right now, even though it came out in 2007. I mean, that plane literally is at maximum 13 years old. What? Yeah, I just don't really like the A380 for several reasons. Today, let's talk a bit about another aircraft from Airbus that I actually like a little bit more. And yeah, I was gonna show you the A340. This is now a little bit of an extended version of the A340. See, what the A340 is known for is being pretty much one of the longest planes. Yes, in fact, it's the second longest airliner out there right now. Yeah, 3 meters longer than the Airbus A380, and actually just 1 meter short of the 747-8, which is right now the placeholder for the longest airliner. And then the 777 comes in, but that's another story. Yeah, the A340 typically known for being a pencil plane, but it is also known for its smooth landings because it has, you know, the tilted landing gear designs that we know and love with the planes out there. You know, the landing is look at that. You know, where the landing gear really is just tilted, which really makes it beautiful. Also, the middle landing gear is something we don't really ever see anywhere else. I mean, look at how satisfying it looks to have this plane land. Well. Yeah, I do kind of also think that this plane is underrated. It is not particularly popular, and I mean, we can actually find a big example of that here even in the flight simulator as well again, because just like the A380, there is no proper flight model for the A340 out there to download. I mean, yeah, really, this is now another model. This is what the actual Airbus A340-300 looks like, a smaller version of the 600 that is actually longer, from Swiss Airlines, actually the old livery, of course. And this is really the only model we can download for this flight simulator. And this flight simulator has very high quality models from planes that you've never really heard of, even the Avro Vulcan, for example. But no, not for the A340 apparently, which sometimes is a sign for people not particularly caring about an aircraft, right? And I mean, just take a look at this flight model. Take a look at the cockpit, okay? This is genuinely, unironically, what the cockpit looks like. They do have pilots drawn into the cockpits too, but they look like this. What the absolute hell is going on even here? This is what the hell? This is probably one of the worst models. This is even worse here. Holy moly. One of the worst models for the flight simulator out there. And that's really just gotta mean something again. People don't really care about the A340. Now, whatever. This plane came out in 1991. And, well, its biggest weakness is its 4 engines. These are probably the reason why this plane was not particularly that much of a successful aircraft. Only 300 of these were built, which is like not too bad, but like it's not good either, you know? And with it's being really introduced in the early 90s, there are of course already A340s being very much retired. In fact, it's kind of a rarity to see this plane fly these days, because again, not many airlines bought it in the first place, and you know, many have it already retired because it's not particularly fuel efficient. Again, that's on the 4 engines. See, running 4 engines instead of 2 engines, which for example the A330 has, or maybe the 777, is of course way more fuel usagely. What am I saying? Yeah, this just takes more fuel, right, to use 4 instead of 2 engines. Makes sense. But there's also quite a good reason why this plane has, by the way, let's take off, why this plane has 4 engines, or had to have 4 engines. It's really just about ETOPS, for example. Yeah, you could really, back when this plane was developed in the 80s and 90s, only fly planes across oceans if they had 4 engines, to put it very short. These days, it's not really that much of a problem anymore. And why is this plane out of focus? I hate this flight simulator sometimes. Oh damn, this flight simulator model is so bad. Look at how fast this plane actually just accelerates. How fast are we? We're at 600 knots. We just took off out of the 1,200 meter long runway, and I'm not even sure if we even need those engines. I think the wing flex here of the wings are enough to provide this, you know, it's kind of like a bird, you know what I mean? Enough lift there, no worries at all. Yeah, but anyway, again, back in the 90s, we can only see 4 engine planes flying across oceans, because that was just really the rule back then. And that was actually one of the last planes to be developed to have 4 engines, right? With the exception of the A380, which was also a failure because, you know, of its efficiency. which it was not good at. I mean, practically, the A340 and the A330 is pretty much the same plane. Only, the A330 is kind of doing even more smooth landings here. It has a bit of more tilted landing gear. Isn't this looking nice? But yeah, the A330 came out in 1992, and it's very much more flying around across the globe, and it's actually being refreshed right now. There's a Neo version of it coming out too. A340 definitely isn't getting a Neo version. And also, for a bit of a comparison, the Airbus A330 has 1,500 built. Again, compared against 300. I see this is a bit of a different story than the A380, which I don't really like. It's not very special. It doesn't have any magic to it. The A340, though, does have a lot of magic to it. You know what I mean? But what sucks here in the Flight Simulator Model 2 is that there's basically no tilted landing gear. Not close to what it looks like in real life. You know, that's a missed opportunity there. But yeah, this plane is great, but it came out in the wrong time. If it was released like 10 years earlier, it would have been totally fine. You know, back when quad jets, you know, planes with 4 engines were just very normal, but it was just way too late on the schedule, basically. And especially with the A330 coming out at the same time. I mean, why would you just opt for an A340 when you could just buy an A330 that's more fuel efficient? All right, let's go. Oh, damn. Oh, okay, that's been a bit of a hard landing. Let's see if we can stop this plane here. Maybe this plane can make up with its 4 engines by using strong reverse thrust, which we basically did. Yeah, 4 engines are, of course, a bit more powerful in the reverse thrust, I guess, than 2 engines. So that was actually a quick stop, and we can even reverse this plane quite a bit. Damn. Quite a bit of stopping performance this plane has indeed. So it is time to go for Swiss Air 1 mode. Fly this plane at some interesting airports. How about that? Alright, let's come in for a landing. And, I just hate this cockpit, by the way. Very sad again. This is a great plane, but very much underrated. Even though it deserves to be underrated again, because it kind of also sucks. I mean, this plane didn't only have 4 engines, but it also was very heavy of a plane. Damn, Airbus really failed at making planes there. Alright, come on. It's been a bit of a hard landing here again. Oh man, let's see if we can stop. Let's see how quickly this plane can stop. I mean, again, with the reverse thrust, I think I'm having a little bit of hope here. And yes, I'm flying the plane with the heads-up display because here we don't have any instruments. And this thing stopped faster than like the 737-200. Damn. Okay, that's quite a bit of a turning point for the A340. Apparently, it's not all that bad. Stopping performance is good. And we all know that stopping performance is probably the most important thing about an airliner. All right, now stop for the 600-meter long runway of St. Bartholomew. What is really nice to point out about this plane, by the way, is how safe it actually is. Yeah, the A340 never had a fatal crash. No one has ever died on an A340. Actually, no, that's probably wrong, but no one has ever died in the crash, right? Maybe a heart attack. Yeah, this plane is incredibly safe. Maybe that's because no one was really flying it, and you know, that's probably the reason. Yeah, so we're coming for a landing. Yeah, actually, I think this plane is rated as one of the safest planes on the planet. Again, 4 engines, so that's, you know, if 1 engine fails, that's 3 more to go. You can even continue your flight to your destination. Doesn't really matter. That plane is incredibly safe. That was actually also the thing about the quad jet, making this plane as safe as possible. We just stopped. How did we just stop at this runway, by the way? I mean, I would take that. Time to move on then to the next airport. Yeah. Shortest runway, 300 meters. How about that? All right, let's get this plane nicely landed down here at Sabah Airport. Okay, that's been a bit of a hard landing, actually. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, this airport is where most planes actually get to the limits. Yeah, great. Yeah, but A340, great plane, but just not much of a money machine. So yeah, guys, thank you. What am I saying? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night. Now, thank you to my members here on YouTube like Block, Emite, Mubarak, Mike, Ethan, Darren, Stefan, Ian, Oman the Human, Rafael Burkowski, Junk in the Trunk, Moritz, Toby, Great Grandpa John, Government Pasta, Calamity Airlines, Kelly Chaos, New York, Tyler Park, Cheese Doritos, Shadow, Anime Planes 001, X-Men Show, Deslama, Twittering, Kellen, Me By You, Captain Cameron, Spiro, Gary, Norwegian, Bajel, and Parology.